What is up, Amphigory Nation? Back with another banging video as always, because that's what I do. I just spent 20 minutes recording this and didn't even press record on my computer, so that's an L, but what can you do? So, could you just go back straight into it? Like, sure, we have start a song. Guitars are just... One on the right, that's octave higher. And then these two, which I just like the same. Then the chorus, the verses are just the single guitar by itself, and the drums and the bass was just like basically notes. Yeah, that's the verse. Guitar, chorus 2, the same. 4. However, there is this. Yeah, I figure on the beat, it's just another guitar part. Has very high cut. Yeah, nice one, champ. Then we go back into the second verse here, but this has more of a cool guitar part where it's like on the right and it's like offbeat, so it's yeah. And then we have this. Which initially was just going to be the chords themselves. Then I was like, this actually sounds good. Hold the phone. So I automated the reverb so that it was like it flew up completely and then went down quickly and whoop, whoop, you know what I mean? And then back into the chorus. We have a little difference here is the which is just a synth, but the synth without any of these effects sounds like, which is very scary. And as well as that, there's also the arpeggiator, which I put on just for the vibes. And I put the rate to 1/96. I don't know what that means. I know what it means because it was like if it's 1/2, it's like every yeah. So when it sounds normal, it's this. But then I was like, bam, crank that shit like Soldier Boy up to 96. So it's like basically just, I probably could have just put an erosion on it, to be honest, and it would have done the same thing, but game's a game, isn't it? And then chuck this back on. Lovely jubbly, what can you say? Amphigory, tell your friends. That's literally the song. Like the drum is just the same throughout. But the more I made songs, the more I changed around like the snares and stuff. Like it's not a terrible snare, but it's not amazing either. And the kick is decent, like. But in terms of like effects used, like if you go to like the main guitar, it's just like equalizer, compressor, and reverb comes in towards the end. But it's also, this is the first time I've used like the sends, so which adds like a nice bit of like underlying kind of reverb. Like if I solo this track, which is just a middle guitar, you can hear this, it's like reverb, but there's no reverb on the track. That's what sends are. But like it just gives it more, because it takes the dry signal and makes reverb with it rather than like changing the dry signal, if that makes sense. If people know what I'm talking about, they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, but no, for the three main guitars, it's really just an equalizer, compressor, and an equalizer again, really, and not. Yeah, that's literally what it is. this lead guitar part again, but I think there's a bit of reverb on it. No, there's a reverb on it, but it's not even used at all. Bass guitar was just again equalizer, compressor, reverb, a bit of utility, just push the gain up, and then the drums obviously, kick drum, just equalizer, reverb. The rides are just equalizer, equalizer, and reverb. They're both just high cut equalizers, I'm pretty sure. And then the snare is again just equalizer. Probably I think they're boosting the mids or boosting the low end, and yeah, the 5K kind of range, and then reverb and chorus and this yoke reverb. Oh, this is a saturator as well. Actually, I don't think I said that. Yeah, no, saturator just to make it have more of a sort of. It just gave it more of a crunch to it and a bit more sort of what's the word, like texture, which I quite liked because I didn't want it to just be loud. I wanted it to be like big. But yeah, that's that, and I guess I'll just look at the vocals now because why not? So now if I go into the vocals, I have at the start I have this.
Hi, it's Ben, and we're just making a random video, but I don't know why because it's at night. Hi.
That is, I knew at the start. I knew once I had made this song that I wanted to put like something like that at the start, like me talking as a child, because that's what the song is about. It's like childhood and missing childhood and stuff. So I was like, I wanted to have an intro of me talking as a child, but I was like, every video I found of me as a child just had me yapping in it. But this one I found had like just me actually saying like hi and bye, so it was like an actual kind of intro. And it's just a nice
Hi,
way to
it's
sort
Ben,
of get into the song. Like, I don't know. I think when this was like dry in terms of effects, it sounded so like just not like.
Hi, it's Ben, and we're just making a random video, but I don't know why because it's at night. Hi.
It was just very much different, and yeah.
Hi, it's Ben.
It didn't sound. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping here, but then yeah, for the actual vocals themselves, they're fairly like basic. Like if I just solo these two.
Wish I could go.
Like the main one, middle track, just has reverb on it, and then obviously equalizer, compressor, and that's a lot of limiter on it. Left the vocals on the right are just the same really, bit of reverb, limiter obviously, and then yeah, the first verse is just
Wish I could go back to.
The vocals are a lot more simple, like sort of production wise than Just Stay, because Just Stay had like six tracks for vocals, but it's just like this song only really needed like a lot more basic vocals, and then second verse I add in
Wish I could go.
the right side, more high, so it was 3 layers then of just.
Wish I could go back to then.
That's it. And then just to the end, since we had the crunchy synth, I was like, let me cook. So I put that on a.
Wish I could go.
Nice little saturator, hard curve, frequency of the 300 range, bit of drive. You know how we do it. Just added the same texture, like because it was kind of like contrasting. It was like the saturation doesn't really suit the like instrumental, if that makes sense. Like, kind of, maybe I'm Japanese out, but it was just, what the fuck am I saying? It just makes it sort of have a contrast, which I really liked. So I just added that, and if we solo the whole.
Wish I could go back to then.
Yeah. I also used the group to sort of. I didn't really use the master track when I've been making these songs. I didn't really use the master track overall. I'd use the master track in the project itself to master the instrumental, but then I'd mainly just master on the group track here because I didn't want to go then obviously mastering this instrumental which was already made because that's gonna fuck it up. So we just used the vocals. That's where I used like the main master. So we had like the equalizer, compressor, reverb, equalizer, yeah, limiter, like oh no, sorry, not limiter, utility. And yeah, like the actual master track. Then I just had a limiter and a utility on, obviously, and the best plugin again. Oh, and wrong screen. My favorite plugin of all time. If a man could have no plugin except one, I'd pick this one because I can do everything else without any other plugins. Lovely jubbly, free loudness meter. You lean loudness meter too, because I used to just master the loudness of my songs based off of Spotify, except on Spotify you can have like the little slider on the bottom, and it was too inconsistent. But that's why like my old songs are all kind of like quiet because I was a fool. I was a young fool who didn't have a clue what he was doing. I still don't really, but sure. But yeah, like that's the whole song complete. No.
Wish I could go
Yeah. Yeah.
how we found.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, sure. Like, I hope you like the song when it's out on June 14th, which is probably like yesterday when this video comes out. And yeah, Amphigory 2024. Tell your friends.